So these are two sound waves. If I need to go back, just talk to me. The higher the wave, the louder the sound. The lower the wave, the softer the sound. If waves are close together in time, high frequency, the pitch will be perceived as a high pitch. Waves that are farther apart, low frequency, will be perceived as having a low pitch. So this is decibels of sound, how we measure them. So be careful. It's better to have the over-the-ear headphones than the in-the-ear headphones. I know we all like listen to music probably loudly. Just be careful so you don't damage your hearing. So you wouldn't even know right away. You actually would hear the pain at 120 decibels. Yeah, that's when you'd actually feel the pain. But you could damage your ears without even knowing. I have slight hearing loss in my left ear because I was at the bar and this girl was yelling in my ear over the music and I heard something pop. So I can still hear, but I can hear way better out of this ear than that ear.
Would you kind of just hear like the tinnitus when like it happens immediately, or?
I felt something pop and it hasn't been the same since. I can still hear it. Just I can hear way better out of the right than the left. Like it's just partial. It's not full or anything. So a decibel is a unit of measure for loudness, and we want to look, of course, in the scope of psychology. How does the noise affect things like stress, learning performance, aggression, and psychological and physical well-being?
So what are the effects of noise on stress?
Give you more or less stress. Think about it. Is there like if there's like a noise that you really don't like, it's going to stress you out, right?
Like a dog barking.
Like a dog barking. But if there's like, what was that? You said banana?
Someone eating a banana?
Or when they're like you hear the smacking.
Oh, the smacking, yeah, that might stress you out. But like some softer, tranquil music or some music that you really like to put you in a good mood, that would be the opposite, right? Like that's the idea.
I forgot where, but somewhere, might have been the U.S. They like to torture people by playing Baby Shark on loop.
By playing what?
Baby Shark.
Oh.
They'll play that like on a loop 24/7.
Oh, I can see that. I showed you guys Chinese water torture, right? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Waterboarding?
No, some of my students come up with this. I said, can I keep this? Oh, it's not there. I thought I had it. Oh, I don't have it. Hang on. Okay. File, save. See if I can upload it. Files. Downloads. Did it just download just? No. I asked some students to come up with what like a hypothesis would be, kind of like with the Dr. Java thing as an assignment. Sometimes we do this assignment, sometimes we skip it just for time. But it was the idea of coming up with like some variables. So this is what they came up with. And they went off the rails towards the end, but they weren't incorrect. Now, obviously, this would violate ethics. We wouldn't actually do this, okay? But you mentioned the baby shark thing and the torture, and made me think of this one. So they defined what it was. Then they came up with the independent variable, and this wouldn't be incorrect, by the way. That's actually right. Then they came up with the dependent variable, how fast the secret's given away. And there's no placebo effects, everyone receives the droplets. Experiment with the group, the ones getting the slower water droplets, the torture. Control group, faster. No experimenter effect because either the torture or the one being tortured will be where it's being tested. That actually kind of makes sense. Of course, that's males, participants, that's right. That, they got it one off the rails at the end. This is right. Double blind, yeah, that's true. That's how they prove their hypothesis that the slower water droplets work. And the secret's given away. Disprove slower rate, then that would disprove their hypothesis. That's, yeah, that was it. So,
That would give me anxiety.
what?
That, like, just having,
Oh, yeah.
because it's kind of like, when I was little, I always slept on the second floor. I always shared a room with my sister, and I was always like a heavy sleeper, but like a light one at the same time. So our sink in the kitchen had like a loose little like faucet.
Yeah.
So hearing the noise, like everything else in the house was quiet, and I would hear it, and it would make me go crazy. And then I would start to feel like I felt something.
Yeah. It's psychosomatic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Was it right time? Traumatized. Try to spring a little humor into the lecture. That was the goal there. With auditory canal, short tunnel that runs from the appendix of the eardrum, your tympanic membrane. Eardrum is your thin section of skin that tightly covers the opening in the middle part of the ear. When sound waves hit the eardrum, it vibrates and causes three tiny bones in the middle ear to vibrate, known as a hammer, anvil, and stirrup.
So the shocks, earphones that are meant to,
Bring bass.
will like allow you to hear through your bone structure. The piece is placed like right over this section. Is that kind
That-
of like where?
That's where approximately where that is. That makes sense. And the naming conventions because they kind of look like those things. I have a diagram, all that coming up.
I thought it transmitted from those three, like it.
No, it probably would.
Cranium and then to
No,
your-
that'd be an extra step. But the brain's usually pretty fast about when it's firing a messages like. Unless something's really complicated, usually they're like, okay, and it just clicks. Now, if something's really abstract, really complicated, or something brand new, then sure, it takes your brain a little bit to understand whatever the thing is.
So as we age, we start losing like our ability to hear? Is it because our eardrum is getting damaged, or is it because like the little bones are getting how is it?
Like blood deterioration, or but like
What deteriorates?
use.
But
Like things wear down, but there's hearing aids and there's even implants. These like hearing and vision are some of it that we can mostly usually easily correct.
I think that basically our organs are not meant to last forever, so
Yeah.
like the same what they call the cellular division.
The telomeres.
Yeah, the cellular division creates
Yeah.
tears between each cell, so every time you age, you kind of lose.
Yeah.
They say like that your kidneys normally until you are 40 or 50, if you're healthy, they're already like at 80%. So
Oh.
you die with, but if it goes below that, you're gonna start feeling the symptoms right away.
Right.
So you have to have very good in good shape all the way until you die.
Yeah, but if you do mental and physical fitness, that will protect you a lot.
Well,
It's not 100% guarantee, but grandma not knowing what's going on or grandpa, it's because of usually lack of mental and physical fitness. It's usually those things. Like there's been a bunch of correlational studies that say like that's the thing. So like start
Crossword puzzles or like.
crossword puzzles would be good for the brain, but also like walking is a good thing. Going to the gym is a good thing, and not because like it's just they've done a lot of correlational studies now. I mean, I do see it every day with a narcissist. She's incredibly overweight and she can't remember shit. And I'm not hating on fat people. I mean, she's like 500 pounds, okay? Like, I know we can all lose weight, and me included, but like, she remembers stuff the wrong way, and I'm like, she's in her 50s. Like, there's a bunch of studies that say literally if you don't do mental and physical fitness, like, I'm kind of blown away. She has a doctorate. Like, she remembers stuff wrong, and then she gets argumentative about how it went down. I'm like, that's really not what happened, but then she's my superior, so I can't really get that argumentative with her. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, awesome. But it affects cognition. Like you can't, there's been a lot of studies, like, walk, go to the gym, like, do something a few times a week. It makes a huge difference long-term. Mental and physical health are, like, really, really close. So there's a bunch of science to it. Like, I'm being a scientist about this. It might explain the narcissism, I'm not sure. So she's always right. She's very dismissive. She angers a lot of people, including the other leaders at work. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised she has her job still. I'm hoping eventually that ends.
Is being a narcissist like a trait, or is being dismissive a trait of?
Oh yeah,
narcissist?
that's a trait of a narcissist. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So they're right. They always want to pull everything off.
Don't start diagnosing people now.
No, I'm not. Because like sometimes I have conversations with people, and like, for starters, like sometimes when I'm talking to my boyfriend, like he seems very dismissive of me. Like, he'll just be like, okay, but like he'll try to validate his feelings. It pisses me off.
But you can have narcissistic traits without
Being a narcissist.
Yeah. So that's what I don't want to say.
Like it's important. I think
my
it's.
brother, I think he's a narcissist. Like for sure,
Yeah.
my brother's a narcissist.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be saying.
But you don't. But don't say that to him because that will. You don't want to really ever tell a narcissist that. But like, you can have. She's right. You can have narcissist tendencies and not be a narcissist. That's totally.
So what classifies you to be an actual narcissist?
It's in the DSM-5. There's a bunch of. Did I post that for you guys? So I've been going to files. Type in DSM-5. See if something comes up. We're going to like announcements, and there should be a link.
I think the only thing
And then it literally gives you all the criteria, and it's a certain amount of criteria, and it's hitting certain specifiers in the criteria.
In the files?
nonsense.
Try DSM-5 in the announcements. Do you guys have it? I can look.
No. No.
Okay, well, coming soon to a theater near you. Hang on. DSM-5? Hang on, I'll put it in there.
Yeah, like I don't sit there and like try to like classify people as that, but it's just like over time I kind of think a lot because I have a lot of free time when I can't sleep. Like why would you do that?
That's it. Hang on. I went too far. Go here.
No, I'm gonna think of I think you should be. I think you should be in the microphone. Thank you. Yeah, that's a weird website.
Okay, now click on announcements. There's a link that says DSM-5. It's at the top. If you click on that link, it's a free copy of the DSM-5, and then you can literally look up narcissism, and it will literally tell you it's all 200-300 illnesses that are in there. It's like 900 pages. It takes a minute for it to load, depending on your internet speed. But I did post it. It should just cut and paste that link. That'll tell you everything you'd want to know. And then you can diagnose. So this is a diagram of our ear. The drawing shows the entire ear, beginning with the outer eardrum. Pinna, ear canal, and eardrum, that's A. Vestibular organ includes the semicircular canals and the ophthalmic organs inside the round structures below the cochlea. B, the middle ear, sound waves entering through the ear canal cause the eardrum to vibrate, which causes each of these three bones of the middle ear to vibrate, amplifying the sound. The stirrup rests on the oval window, which transmits its vibration and the fluid in the inner ear. C, the inner ear, large spaces are filled with fluids shown in purple that vibrates as the oval window vibrates. A thin membrane suspended in this fluid is called the basilar membrane, which contains the organ of the corti, the structure composed of the hair-like cells that send signals via the auditory nerve to the thalamus, which then relays information to the auditory cortex. D is a close-up view of the basilar membrane in dark pink, with the hair cells of the organ of the corti in lighter pink. Notice the axons, small green lines leaving the hair cells to form the auditory nerve. What do you got?
What happens if you rupture your eardrum?
That would be hearing loss.
I mean,
My
like,
sister
would the
ruptured
eardrum
it.
itself in the diagram, like, crack? Like, how
That'd be a rupture, yeah.
My sister ruptured her eardrum.
It
So
could
can
heal
like does
back.
it come back to like complete health?
Or
She
just-
hasn't talked about it much since.
I
it
don't
happened.
think that happens.
So
I think it
always
partially
rub
repairs
your
at best.
eardrum.
I'm not entirely sure though. Ask her.
Yeah, I was like, hey, can you tell me about it?
Because I don't think your hearing ever comes back to 100%. I don't think it, because mine didn't. Like it's still.
Cause she was like in excruciating pain.
it's-
Like, I remember she was like sobbing when they were like, oh, you like ruptured.
Yeah,
your eardrum.
the body is like, you only get one shot. Whatever.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know. You guys hear of Wim Hof?
Who?
Wim Hof. Wim Hof ran through the snow in like his shorts only for like 90 minutes, and he got irreparable damage on his leg and his foot per the MDs. And they're like, that shit's not fucking healing, you idiot. You ran through the snow. Well, he didn't like that. So he thought about it. He didn't pray. He thought about it for 2.5 months. It completely repaired itself. Completely. Mind over matter. That's something called self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm not saying you're incorrect. We want to stay science here, but he did think about it, and it did change. Many years ago, a serious girlfriend of mine was like, I'm going to get you sick. I'm like, no, you're not. I didn't get sick. That doesn't mean you're invincible or that you're wrong about the body, but there is something with mind over matter. 97% of what we worry about never, ever happens. And you can manipulate the universe a little bit by having positive energy and vibes. And I know it sounds very hippy-dippy, but they've done studies on this. If you're more positive, you're less susceptible at cellular level to disease. And if you're more negative, you get sick more often. They've proven this under the scope of science. So, like, you can, and this guy, he's like the mentalist. Like, they were like, your leg and your foot is damaged forever. And he's like, I don't think so. And he thought about it, and it repaired itself. So, yes and no. And I'm not trying to be vague here, but there is some data that says that's possible.
So I can't remember it was actually.
If you're a person of faith, then you might believe that, because the God I believe in that can do anything. But of course, you all seek your own truth. Mine doesn't have to be your guys' truth.
But the great philosopher, I was watching the stand-up comedian, what I forget his name. He's very short.
Kevin Hart.
No, the other one, older than him.
Martin Short.
No.
He's got the name.
He's
He's got the
also-
name,
he's
and he's
also-
short.
He's also a black comedian, and he's the same. I think he's almost the same height as
Well, it wouldn't be Eddie Murphy 'cause he's taller.
Is that the Kevin Bacon show?
No,
It wouldn't be Chris
this
Rock.
guy,
Does he have long hair?
long hair.
Dave
Cat
Chappelle.
Williams.
Cat Williams. That's the guy.
Okay.
So for some reason in the last special he made an argument that said your brain, I don't know where he got it from, but I think it's true. Your brain most of the time doesn't know that you lie or that you are just making things up. So if you think about it too much, your brain may think you're sick. Like if you think you're sick, your brain creates a situation on its own that
Isn't that kind of like what a hypochondriac is?
Yeah, it's something we call it self-fulfilling prophecy in psychology, good or bad. It does affect things. Hypochondria,
My sister's hypochondriac.
like my grandpa having nitroglycerin in his man purse so that he can come back to life. It's hypochondriac. He made it to like 75.
like, I mean, I feel like I am a hypochondriac because I remember when COVID happened, I will go out and I will be away from people and stuff. I was doing all my stuff. Yeah, I heard somebody coughing over there, and I started feeling a pain over here. Like
That's psychosomatic. That's psychosomatic. That's psychosomatic. That's what that is.
I know that person didn't get me sick, but I'm feeling something right now.
It's because your brain, yeah, you're telling you that.
Cause like I'll cough and I'll be like away from my sister, kind of like where Siki's sitting, and I'll look the other way, and my sister will be behind me, and she'll be like, "Oh my God, you just got me sick."
Yeah.
You just got me sick.
Yeah.
That's what she'll say.
Yeah.
I believe that what you said is true because I feel like I'm such a positive person and I never get sick.
Yeah.
Like I never do. Like all the time. Like even when COVID happened, I lived in Texas. And you know how Texas is. Nobody was wearing a mask, and I never got COVID, and I also never got vaccinated. But I am vaccinated now. But I didn't get vaccinated when I lived in Texas. And I've also never broken a bone. And like whenever someone's like, "You're gonna get sick," I'm like, "No, because I never get sick."
I have coworkers that have sat next to me with COVID because they won't even excuses anymore with masks on, and I don't get COVID. I waited on the vaccination. I'm vaccinated, but I went for vaccination 4. No, Novavax,
Oh, the Novavax.
because that's 100 years of science versus 20. I trust that more. I'm not saying that there's a problem with the first 3. I'm just saying I trust 100 years of science. So I didn't do Moderna, I didn't do Johnson & Johnson, and I didn't do the other.
Wasn't Johnson
Pfizer.
Johnson?
Pfizer?
That was the one I got.
I did
There was Moderna. It was
Moderna, yeah.
That was the newest of the other.
I waited, I didn't do the mRNA, I just did it's like a dead virus, which is like how they've done the old school vaccinations. I waited for that one because I had concerns about
The new technology.
the new technology. I'm not saying that there's a problem with it. I like to ground all my ideas in science. I'm not getting on the conspiracy wagon or anything, but like I felt 100 years of science was better than 20.
But also, actually, they were saying that it's a misconception thinking that mRNA is a new technology. They've been researching it for almost 30 or something years.
But there's been a lot of papers, a lot of academic papers, not a lot of implementation.
Oh, that's right.
That's where I'm like concerned. But yeah, I don't. I think I've never had a positive COVID test. I think I got COVID in 2022 because I felt like death, and then it went away. But there's 2 ways to kill COVID that I know. So
I got, like, piggybacking off what she said, last year, I feel like I had a lot of growth from last year to this year. But I, like, to be self-aware, I was a very negative person last year.
Okay.
And it felt like everything was kind of, like, coming down.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, like, the whole world's against me. And I remember on 1 week, specifically the first week of October, I told myself, this is going to be the worst month ever.
And then it was.
And then I pulled both of my hamstrings.
There you go. Yeah.
And then I got COVID the very next day, and like I felt like death.
Yeah. Yes. No problem. I did want to ask you guys if you guys have a theory in which one you believe the most. Is it frequency theory? Is it Pauli principle? Or place theory? These 2 are up here, then the other one was on the previous slide. Which theory of how we hear makes the most sense to you and why, Socratically speaking? That's why I drew those. That wasn't me losing my mind, if you're all wondering. There's a purpose.
The frequency. I mean, as somebody that studied science, like engineering,
You think frequency?
learn about air pressure and the frequency of the air, the speed of the air, and all that.
So that one makes more sense with the frequency of
Yeah.
speed of the air and how the sound travels.
Yeah.
Okay. see that.
I mean, you see it with the supersonic planes, you hear
Yeah.
the boom right after you're back.
Because the sound's following them. Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta agree with that too. Just because if you ever hear like a car coming towards you, it always sounds loudest, or it like sounds like it's really high pitched when it's coming at you, and then it drowns out as it like moves away from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a bug, like the little mosquitoes. You know, you can hear them when because we've never gotten stuck in your room.
That's the most annoying thing ever.
This is like traumatizing me because I'm like visualizing that.
Like you're ready to go to bed after a long day, and then all you hear is it's just like.
You see, I feel the need to scratch every time you talk about mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with a lot of mosquitoes. It's a negative, how do you call that? What was it?
Negative. So that'd be conditioning. And that what would that be? Would that be positive, negative punishment, positive, negative reinforcement?
Negative reinforcement. It's, I mean, scratching. Well, it's adding. So it's
Adding. So it's got to be positive.
It's making me do something. So it's not
And
positive.
what is the goal? Is the goal to increase or decrease the behavior? So that'd be positive punishment. Is that right? Or would it be positive reinforcement?
It's
Because
possible, it's positive reinforcement, but it's negative punishment. Because I mean, I don't want to scratch myself, but I don't want the sounds and the feel.
but you don't want. So you're trying to take away the sensation of the experience. So is that why it's a negative punishment? Remember, you always work backwards. So it's you start with what you're trying to do with behavior, trying to increase it or decrease it.
I want to decrease the memory of the mosquito thing, right? I want to decrease the sensation of the feeling of having that mosquito near me.
So that's punishment. That's positive punishment. Because you're receiving something you don't like, the scratching, to decrease the behavior of the remembering. Right? I feel like that would make sense.
It's the 1 and 0 confusion.
Sometimes, depending on how you look at it.
Because I don't want to scratch either.
So conduction hearing impairment can result from damaged eardrum that prevents sound waves from being carried into the middle ear properly, like what you're saying with your sister. Okay, sister, right?
My twin.
Damage to the bones of the middle ear. Sounds cannot be conducted from the eardrum to the cochlea. Nerve hearing impairment can result from damage in the inner ear, damage in the auditory pathways and cortical areas of the brain as well.
Because I know she plays her music loud in her car, like almost all the way up. But
Careful.
I just think it's because like she just likes really loud music.
Yeah, that can damage the ear.
Because I know when I wear my Apple Watch and I listen to music in my car, it tells me loud environment.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
Why do our ears pop when there's a change in pressure, like when you're
It has to do with but I think it has to do with like the pressure. Well, are you talking about like swimming, or are you talking about like on a plane?
on a plane?
That would have to do with like the thinness, the altitude.
Because I know when we were going to Texas, we were driving and we were going through the mountains.
Yep, that'll pop in the mountains because that's enough of an elevation increase.
Because I thought it was just on planes or like underwater. But I didn't know it was with driving too.
When I went to Europe, me and my parents, we did hiking. We went really high up in the mountains and my ears were popping. So it's chewed gum when I was hiking.
Yeah. Let's do it like so you adjust to your environment. That's what that is. This is not a hearing aid. This is a cochlear implant. This is different. Microphone implanted just behind the ear. Picks up the sound from the surrounding environment. You only get these if you have really bad hearing. if your hearing's okay but damaged, you'll get typically a hearing aid. And nowadays, they are super tiny. So if you have, I know, cosmetics, right? I'm talking about your twin sister. She could probably get a hearing aid that we would never see, and she could restore her hearing if she wanted to. They're not giant like they used to be. And a lot of times, a lot of times they're like practically invisible, and they're like inside your ear. Because like my mom just got some, she has hearing loss. I can barely even see them when she's wearing them.
So for cochlear implants,
It's got to be really bad.
like babies, like when they're born deaf, and they have the option to get a cochlear implant.
Yeah, but generally, because like they actually did a study with like a special ear doctor, and she's like, well, why can't I do this? I'm like, and the doctor's like, because your hearing's not bad enough. So you're right, like with babies, otherwise it's typically a hearing aid. You can't really repair some, like taste and smell and touch, that's much harder to repair. Hearing and sight, we can kind of do that with glasses, contacts, laser, hearing aids, etc. So, yeah, what do you got?
I looked at a few students that have hearing aids, but one of them are like the big ones that are like right behind the ear, and it has like a volume control on it. Then another student has one that you can barely see anything.
Yeah, they're getting smaller and smaller, almost invisible these days. But they have to have enough room for the battery, I think,
Yeah.
for like behind the ear. So this speech processor selects and arranges the sound picked up by the microphone. The implant is a transmitter and receiver converting signals into electrical impulses collected by an electrode in the cochlea sent to the brain.
Is there like an age that you can't get a cochlear anymore?
I have to ask the ear doctor that. I don't know. I don't think there is because my mom's like in her 70s and they didn't say it was an age problem. They said it was your hearing's not bad enough problem. I mean, people live longer than that. It's a guess. So this is what that would look like. In a cochlear implant, microphone might just be on the earpiece with the sound of the surrounding environment. Speech processor attached to the implant and worn outside the body selects and arranges the sound picked up by the microphone. The implant itself is a transmitter and receiver, converting the signals from the speech processor into electrical impulses that are collected by the electrode array in the cochlea and then sent to the brain.
So, well, so if somebody burns their tongue, it's the next slide, sorry. If somebody burns their tongue, is it possible for the taste buds to
Yeah,
recover 1000%?
all the time. Yeah, because like I burned my tongue last week drinking coffee that was too hot. I'm like, it's fine.
They just say you wanna be careful with burning because I think it can increase the chances of you like later on, developing throat cancer.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful with. That's why you don't want to smoke. Throat, lip cancer. Gustation, the sensation of taste. 5 basic tastes are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, brothy, or umami. It's usually a question on an exam, by the way. Yeah, I don't have all the questions memorable, but that's the question that they ask. If you're like, well, what's spicy or what, like something that's not on there, it's usually a combination of a percentage of the tastes that you see here based on the research. Like think about spicy, isn't that? It's probably sweet a little bit, right? But what else might comprise spicy? Because typically it's a combination of these for the other ones that are not listed. Salty, bitter, and maybe a little sweet. Because if you
Salty, sour.
is that spicy? It might be.
I feel like
Bitter and salty and sweet. I think those are the three.
That feels more like spicy. Because spicy, like if you add like sugar, it brings the spices up more.
Yeah, I mean, I did the challenge in Buffalo Wild Wings, and so when the last one came, I couldn't describe that pain.
Okay.
It's like it was something I never.
It's like a habanero or something.
And like like I started shaking, you know, like it's like,
Yeah.
And no matter what I did, no, you know, you put milk, you put, and the feeling, it wasn't a taste anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, it was a feeling.
Sensation.
Yeah, sensation, not a taste.
It
So,
physically feels hot. I've done it too.
Yeah.
It physically feels hot. It's so weird.
Like you start sweating.
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of shortcut all the other feelings. It's not good.
But you know what? After I finished it, I kind of wanted more.
I took
Why?
leftovers and I just kind of cleaned them a little bit and they have it because for some reason, yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it was extremely painful.
This is the tongue and taste buds. The right side in the drawing shows the nerves in the tongue's deep tissue. The taste bud is located inside the papillae, and it's composed of small cells that send signals to the brain when stimulated by molecules of food. C, microphotograph of the tongue. Surface of the tongue shown in 2 different sizes of papillae. The taste buds are located under the surface of the larger red papillae, whereas the smaller, more numerous papillae form a touch-sensitive, rough surface that helps in chewing and moving food around the mouth. And your nerve fiber at the bottom there.
So when people are either born or they lose like their sense of taste, is it like damage to the papillae or is it just like a nerve?
It could be, yeah, it could be either. Because if the nerve is damaged, then it wouldn't be able to send the signal properly. Or if the ability to sense taste isn't working, so it can be either. It's probably more papillae than nerve, but nerve's not impossible to be damaged.
So like when you get colds?
Yeah.
I lost my sense of taste when I got a really bad cold and it was just lapses in taste.
Yeah. And it's closely related to smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
They go
is.
together.
Yeah.
Is that why we like get different taste buds per se, like every 7 years or whatever? Like I don't know if you ever like not like something that you like later on in life.
Oh, that does happen. There's shifts sometimes with what you like, yeah.
Like, isn't it like kind of like piggybacking off what he said after pregnancy? Like women will be like, oh, I didn't like this before, but now I like it.
Cravings?
What?
I don't know if it would be cravings. No.
Not cravings.
Most physical taste, like you like after something happens, like I don't know if it's a certain period or like after pregnancy, you like stuff that you didn't like, or you hate stuff that you used to like.
So could that also be linked to like, let's say you go through like a traumatic experience, and let's say you're drinking a Dr. Pepper, like, would your mind kind of be like, we don't like Dr. Pepper anymore?
Yeah, that totally happens. That's totally a thing. Like, sorry, Mariano's, but you sold me some bad salmon that was like stuffed wrong or it was expired.
Oh.
I like salmon. I didn't eat salmon for a few years because of the trauma. I mean, it took me a while to get back into it, like, because I would always think about the bad experience because it was like stuffed salmon and it's on the shelf like one day too long and they didn't catch it. So I went home and cooked it and I got like violently sick food poisoning. So the brain's like, you don't like salmon, just like you don't like Dr. Pepper. Like, that's not that uncommon. This is where the brain fires when you experience taste. The gustatory cortex is on the anterior insula and frontal operculum. Insula is an area of cortex covered by folds of overlying cortex, and each fold is an operculum. In the coronal section of the human brain, the gustatory cortex is found in the regions highlighted in red. Yeah.
Quick question. Going back to the salmon story. So like, if let's say you're, like you said, like because you boycotted going to Mariano's for salmon, is it possible to like 100% forgive them for doing that, and you will go back to eating salmon, or will you just never eat salmon from Mariano's?
I've eaten salmon since. I haven't had salmon from Mariano's since.
I mean, life is short. Why you have to be
So like,
repeating things that taste you bad?
I mean,
I guess I kind of
intellectually, like, I could forgive them for their poor service, and I could give them another shot. But like, if they fuck up again, like, I'm not going back.
Right.
Like, I'll give it a second shot, sure, but like, in like a second, third time, and they don't have it together, I'm just gonna assume they don't have it together. I mean, I can buy salmon somewhere else.
I guess like I was just
Good.
I was gonna say that in that specific scenario, like it could be anybody. Morena is not the sole distributor of salmon.
Right.
So you don't have to be married to them.
Right.
Like you forgive your wife because she did something wrong or whatever.
Because you're married.
Because you're married to that person. You don't wanna, but establishment, like you don't have to
Yeah.
repeat bad experiences.
Right.
yeah, I guess it kind of like he kind of answered my question. I guess I was asking it in the sense of like forgiveness.
Yeah, you forgive Marianos. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they had the wrong person on the floor. Sure. But if I go there again to get the stuffed salmon, and I get violently sick again with food poisoning, I'm going back. I'm not going back a third time to be like, maybe you guys got the guy. Like, I wouldn't say forgiving them would be unlimited because it's an establishment.
Yeah, because I know there are some people that, and I've even been like one to do it too, where like I'll go back to a place like Cane's gave me food poisoning last year.
Oh, and they're so good.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I was like, oh, they're so good, but I was mad at them. I was, you know what? Like I'm mad at you guys. But I kept going back, and then the second time I got sick, and I was like, no, the third time is the charm. Like it's fine.
It's your fault.
So yeah, so I was like,
Cane's is disgusting, because I work there.
Thanks. I went there on Friday with my students downtown. Keep going.
It's just gross, like the fryers, they clean them, but they're still disgusting. They have waste bins, and like the sauce sits out for hours at a time, like.
That's every fast food.
Yeah. So like their fryers are just gross. And, like I don't know, like the people that work there that I work with, they were just like irritating. Like I don't know, it's just everything made me like I never ate Cane's ever.
So
I
actually,
just hated it.
my first ever job, I used to work at a concession stand, and we used to go everywhere in the Chicagoland area. And you were saying, oh, like the inspectors would come and be like, oh, like this is so clean, like this is so clean. But the second they would leave, it'd be disgusting. Like the oil would be reused. They would freeze the sausages and take them all the way to Florida like a week and a half later. And I called the cops. I don't care. Like that's disgusting. People
Right.
like that's disgusting. And then like we also had one fryer that was specifically just for, like fried fish, anything, whether it was shrimp, just so people don't get like if they're allergic to shrimp or whatever. But I remember one time seeing them dip a funnel cake in there, and when a customer ordered with me, I was like, I do not feel comfortable selling you that if you have a fish allergy.
Did they fire you? 'Cause you're a
No,
pro.
I left. I left because
If they fired her for that, that'd be illegal, by the way.
yeah.
Retaliatory
No,
firing is legal in all 50
I
states. It's a
left
federal
because
thing.
of harassment. Like they were being like once they found out that I turned 18, they were just disgusting.
You can
But
sue them for that too. You have
I-
rights
you see,
against
I didn't
sexual.
know that, but I did.
Yeah, but
When I went
And I'm not
in
too
there-
happy, guys, but there's rights to you. We're treated like a
When
human
I went
being,
in
okay?
there, I recorded like me quitting, and all the owner said was, "Oh, like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else you want me to tell you." And I'm just like, there's other girls working here that are like they're minors, and this is disgusting how you guys look at them and treat them. Like, I'm gonna call the police. Like, hello. But that was it. I didn't really pursue legal action. I should have.
You still can.
You still can, yeah. It's not
Because I
wrong.
was working, they put us to work really hard. It was a really hard job. I think I would work Thursday through Sunday, and at the end of the weekend I would be like at 56 hours. Like I would not sleep. I would sleep like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. It was horrible.
That's really horrible.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
You can sue them. What do you got?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I worked at this one restaurant called Slando's on the Fox in St. Charles.
I love Slander's.
Oh, I'm
That's
about
where me
to
and my
bash
boyfriend-
You've already wrecked
I worked there. He,
the chicken for us, so.
so there were, I was a minor, I was
Kids.
16, and there were some other girls about my age. I didn't go to school with them, but they were from the same district as me in St. Charles. And now they were just like bashing people. I'm just gonna go with it. He was like so sexual towards other people and to me too, and he would like say horrible like.
Yeah, that's against the law.
I know, and I said,
You can't do that.
Fuckface, shut the fuck up. I said that straight to his face, and he laughed and walked away. I'm like, I could have been fired for that.
But I don't think he would have fired me because then.
But
Yeah.
it was disgusting. Like he slapped girls' butts. He slapped.
Yeah, that's
He
illegal.
slapped my ass too.
That's like sexual assault. Like you can't do that.
But they had no cameras to prove it. I had no proof.
Isn't there supposed to be
So
cameras?
then
In, like-
I talked to his dad, which was the
Restaurants?
actual owner.
Yeah,
And he's
I don't
like,
know, it's too
oh,
hard
we're
to
gonna
sense
put
they-
some cameras up in here. And then he just like backed down, but it was awful. So how do you know story?
Cause the food is good.
'Cause she didn't know that that's a
one on
hidden-
our first date.
You should
like,
see how
ever.
it's made.
Oh,
The pizza's frozen. It ain't real pizza.
no.
Yeah, I was busted. I saw everything going on.
I
It was
rolling
awful.
it.
Okay.
But did you go see the conversation about?
I had a manager calling me crack it over email, and I stood up to him, and he about shit his pants because I don't think he wanted me to go to HR. Like, you have rights, guys. And that was minor compared to what you guys just described.
But in the samples we saying like, oh, that looks disgusting or whatever, but it still is an ignorance of the client's perspective, because you don't need to know necessarily if something passes an inspection, no matter how dirty it looks to you, but it shows that it definitely still healthy to eat. What are you gonna do? You complain about something because to your eye it looks bad, but then if you didn't show it to you, you would eat it normal, and you wouldn't get sick or nothing
No,
like that.
I don't believe that people don't get sick from festival food. I don't believe that. I feel like you have, like, there is something you feel, whether it's your stomach, like, or like, you know, obviously, like, you burping a lot, or you like, I feel like there's something you feel after eating festival food. There's no way that you don't, like, feel anything.
Well, the evidence, how many times have you gotten sick?
Oh, every single time I've eaten festival food.
Why you keep
Yeah, I
eating?
always get sick. Why do I keep eating it? I don't know.
Because you're addicted.
I don't know. That's a great question.
You know, if we suddenly found out there was cocaine in Krispy Kreme donuts, I don't think any of us would be surprised. We'd be like, oh, no wonder. What do you got?
I work at the concert venue down the street over here, and we used to have those concerts where people used to do our vending for us, and
Wait, which concert?
the one right here.
Paramount?
Yeah, it's Paramount.
Oh,
but it's the one that I was the one over there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
But they had like it was like Genoa or something or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was like one of those carnival type of things. And I'd always go in the back because I was with my like boss or whatever, and I didn't work for the food part. I did other stuff in the park. And we would see how they do the food. They like throw the food everywhere. So it was just teenagers working, and no one would look at them. No one paid attention to them. And they would. Yeah, go ahead.
That's exactly where I used to work. I never wanted to work in that kitchen because of that reason. It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And one time, like, one of the new people that started working with us, they didn't know that we don't buy the food. Like, we told them none of us will ever get food from there. She bought it, and it was like chicken tenders, and it tasted like rubber, like full-on rubber. Disgusting.
You see, I'm saying they should be fired. They should all.
What do you got?
One last thing to add, just that's all restaurants. I used to work as a commercial roofer, and one of the things that would be one of my things to do would be cleaning up after like grease traps on the roof, and the grease would get so bad that it would physically eat at the roof around it and stuff like that. That's all restaurants.
Don't be afraid to stick up for yourselves. So, like I'm with you, Kate. Like, calling the police. Like, don't be afraid, because you should never let the big guy bully you. Citibank, household name. You all heard of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how student loans work? I know this guy worked in the industry. I'm not telling you anything you couldn't find on FAFSA. There's two types of suspensions of student loan payments if you have federal ones. One is the deferment, like you're gonna have an in-school deferment. Payments are optional right now if you're using student loans, and one is a forbearance. How those two suspensions work is forbearance interest accrues on everything, unsubsidized and subsidized student loans. Deferment interest only accrues on the unsubsidized portion of the loan. Subsidized government pays the interest. So I was in doctoral school getting my degree, and Citibank put me in forbearance. I'm like, no, it's deferment. It's an in-school deferment. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, yes, I do. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, I work in higher education. I do know what I'm talking about. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, I have a master's degree. I know what I'm talking about. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, I'm in higher education. I have a master's, and I'm well into my doctoral program. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Knock it off. Please start obeying the law. They're like, oh, no, you're mistaken. So they can maximize their interest. I said, if you guys don't knock it off, I'm going to report you to the Office of the Ombudsman with the Department of Education. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. And they're like, no, you're mistaken. It's forbearance. I'm like, no, it's not. It's in-school deferment. I pay less interest. That's how it works. That's the law. We'll start obeying the law. They're like, no, you're mistaken. So I reported to the Office of the Ombudsman. I got an email about a month later with a phone number to call, and they said, we're going to investigate this. Citibank was subsequently invested for their predatory student loan practices, and they're no longer allowed to carry student loans as a product anymore. And then I got an apology letter 8 months later with reversing all the extra interest that they had charged because it was illegal. Thanks for playing, guys. You lost your product now. I tried to play nice. Last week I rent. I'm hoping to buy in the future, but right now I'm renting some newer to the area. Thankfully, it's not as bad as it sounds. It was just water only. But my toilet overflowed on its own twice. Once in the middle of the night where there's like standing water, and I had to like deal with that and sanitize and all that. That was fun. It was like unrelated. Like it was, thank God it wasn't like using the bathroom. It was just water, but still it came up from the toilet. And then my housekeeper came by and the same thing happened to her. So I called them because they had this change of ownership. If they don't fix the fucking toilet, I'm calling the health department. I'm not playing with these fuckers anymore. I've been asking for like 2 years for a new toilet. They're like, oh no, you don't need one. I'm like, the donut's broken, it's leaking, I need a new toilet. If there's not a new one in there, we'll just call the health department. So he's taking pictures because I'm not playing. And if they kick me out for that, that's illegal. That's real illegal. You cannot retaliatorily fire someone. You cannot retaliatorily kick somebody out. You have a right to have tenable conditions. You have rights to be treated like a human being and not be sexually harassed. You have rights. Like, don't be afraid to stick up for your rights. If they do you guys still need this, by the way? If they retaliatorily fire you or let you go or eliminate your ability to earn money because you were a whistleblower, that's against the law in all 50 states. They can't do that. It's a federal thing.
For me, like the big thing that held me back was like fear, because like I was afraid of conflict, so I always try to run away from it. But then I realized it was affecting me in my personal life.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I quit.
I didn't want to stick up to that crackhead manager for like months. And finally I was like, well, I know the law. If they fire me, I was afraid they put a target on my back and come up with some other reason. If an employer lets you go and you say that was retaliatory, the burden of proof's on them. So you better have not been performing, or they better have a bunch of write-ups or something, because otherwise they have to prove it in court, and then it goes back to you. Like, the burden of proof, if you accuse retaliatory, is on the person that they've been accused of.
Like, I remember
Retaliatory firing.
when I had said, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, go to the cops for my first, I guess, supervisor at that job. Like, a week later, they told me, and it was actually in the kitchen of River Edge, they told me, they're like, oh, we might have to let you go just because you're not as hardworking as you used to be.
They have to prove that.
I remember looking at them like, what? I'm the only one that's here, like, more than everybody else. And that's when I thought they're retaliating because I said if they don't stop, I'm never
Yeah, that was retaliatory, but they'd have to prove that you weren't working as hard. They could prove that, they would get out of it. They can't prove that, they got to prove that it wasn't retaliatory. What do you got?
But since the food was so bad there, they don't do that. The kitchen's not even there anymore because I guess everyone started to notice how bad the food was.
And it was overpriced. Like a hot dog and fries was $15.
It was. I remember it was like.
It was disgusting.
Wow.
And the hot dogs, we couldn't throw anything away. We couldn't throw anything away. If a customer was like, oh, I want fried pickles, okay, $15 just for fried pickles. Like, I wouldn't want them either, honestly, and I love fried pickles.
And like in the back still there's still like stuff that they would use, like there's boxes. And I think it's food and no one's thrown it out at all. And that's been like for 2 years.
It's like the health department's problem now.
Yeah.
Cause they go, they established actually in Florida, and then they were coming here, and then they did NASCAR in I forgot where for a little while. And I remember they had asked me to go help them for that, but they would be working like 20-hour shifts back to back to back, and I was like, that is not even illegal. Is that even legal?
No, you have to have an 8 hour. You have to have an 8 hour break. That's not legal. That's totally not legal.
An 8-hour break.
Between shifts, that's the thing. You have to have proper rest.
In Spain, it's 12 hours.
Cause I remember
Yeah,
when
but Spain's way nicer and way more like
When I
together.
used to work-
It's also €70 for healthcare whether you're working or not, and they don't do a dumb thing where if you only make $75,000 a year, which it's $75,000 a year for the cutoff for one person, and for a couple, which is stupid. It should be $150 because $75,000 for one person is a lot. $75 for two people. If you're married, that's not a lot of money. it should be 150. They don't do that. Spain is amazing. I'd love to live there, but I have to work fully online. I love Spain.
When I used to like live, or not live, but when I used to work there, I remember when my longest shift was 18 hours. And I remember I was counting down the hours after hour 13, and I just remember it was like a dream. And it's crazy because I don't really have a great memory.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is how physically exhausted and mentally exhausted I was. That I literally felt like I was out of body. I would just look at my hands and be like, oh my god, I'm me. And then I would pinch myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably from the sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
This is proprioception is the awareness of the kinesthetic sense. It's the awareness. What do you got?
I know this doesn't really have, well, kind of, that's what we're talking about, but can, your boss, say it's your past boss, but at the time your boss, can he fire you if you're, I mean, this has nothing to do with this, I'm sorry, but, important phone call, and it's to your mother. And then he's like, get off your phone, you're working. And I'm like, I'm on break. He's like, you're in my building, you're in my restaurant, get off the phone or you're fired.
If you're on break, you're a little more covered.
Yeah.
Like for example,
I was in the building still, but I was in a hidden area where no other customers can see me.
But if you're on break, see, he can be like, you aren't on task, I get that.
Yeah.
But if you're on break or clocked out, for example, unionizing. If I talk about unionizing on the clock, they can totally fire me. But if I talk about unionizing at my job on lunch break, even though I'm still there for the day, away from the building, they can't really fire me.
He's like, get off your phone. And he wanted my phone.
So.
He said, give me your phone. No. He's like, give me your phone and I'll give it to you at the end of the day. I'm like, you can't do that. Can he? That's like my property.
It's kind of like teachers in high school.
Well,
He's like, give me your phone.
I understand where he's coming from,
Yeah.
but I also understand where you're coming from. You can't just, if they're paying you, they're expecting you to do a task.
Right.
There's things like contextual versus task performance. Task performance is you got your shit done. Contextual is you played by the rules, like you showed up on time, you dressed properly, etc. And there's things like leadership performance. And those are kind of the three. So I had a coworker that I became her supervisor. So she was on point for a year and a half, and then one day she came in an hour or two late. She didn't call. I didn't write her up for being late or put it on our time card because her task performance is way higher than her contextual performance. If you're getting your stuff done, I've had the conversation with my boss's boss. I know I'm supposed to be there 37 and a half hours a week, but if I get my stuff done, I'm really efficient. Does it really matter if I'm there 6 or 7 hours a day instead of 8? And everything you ask me to do, I get done in a timely fashion. Do I have to put in 8 hours? So he could be if you're on a break, he should leave you alone. Yeah. If you were on break way longer and not getting your stuff done, he probably has some grounds. In terms of asking for your phone, he's probably just trying to keep you on task. I've asked. At my day job, I can collect phones. My narcissistic boss won't let me. It's my class, not hers, but I don't want the complaints. If she would just quit or resign or get fired, I might collect phones, but I give them back. I put them in a box and I give them back to the students at the end because if I felt they were being distracted by the phones a lot.
I think it's crazy because I think after high school and everything, in high school I was always against having phones taken because my only thing was, what if in an emergency we
They call the school.
Uh-huh.
They call the
So
school.
now when
My
I
family
think
will
about
call Waubonsee if someone dies.
Yeah.
And the police will come get me and be like, something happened.
Exactly. So now, since we're talking about it now, I think that I'm just I don't think phones should be in high school classrooms. I think it's right for them to take it because it gives a lot of positive turnover when it comes to exams and you just see more engagement within the students and they actually care.
I feel after COVID too, everybody's nobody knew how to talk to anybody unless you're an extrovert. But
Right.
people's just I guess people just didn't talk much and they were always on their phone. Every time I entered a classroom, people were always on their phone and it was so annoying. And I made an argument that kids should be. Also, I think kids just aren't taught enough discipline because they're just always on their phones and they're always procrastinating. So I think more discipline should be implemented early on so kids can actually listen to their teachers.
You can't multitask. There's been tons of studies. If you're listening to a lecture or you're in a classroom and you're on your phone or you're texting people a bunch, you will miss stuff. like that will totally happen. You can't do it. None of us can, because you cannot infinitely split mental capacity. Serial multitasking. I'm gonna write something on the board and I'm gonna talk to you guys like that. Yeah, we
You
can.
need more than
Could
one
that
brain
kind
to
of
do
be
that.
like?
You can't concurrently split. It's not possible. People try all the time.
Like when you're like listening to music and you're singing the lyrics and you're writing down notes, like is that like serial multitasking?
That might be concurrent, but the thing is, it's overlearned. You probably know all the lyrics in the song, you probably know the beat, so it's kind of in the background. You're not really processing it, so I don't think it's the truest multitasking because it's already there.
Yeah.
But if you hear a new song, you don't usually do your stuff, do you? Because you're like, oh, I got to listen to this. Because you
realized
can't.
that, yeah.
If it's a song you've heard 10 times or 1,000 times, you're good. You can focus. But as soon as it's something new, you're like, ooh, this beat, ooh, these lyrics.
Last year.
Or you're like, skip, this sucks, or whatever, right?
Last year I was learning something and I forgot what it was, but I wanted to take notes. Oh, it was it's a book about reproductive rights. It's called Jane Against the World. It's a really good read if you guys want to read it. But it's actually one of my informative speeches I'm gonna give about this upcoming week. But anyways, so I took it upon myself to like read and take notes. But I would listen to music. I listen to music when I study. And I told myself, I was like, let me see if I can do both. Like, let me challenge myself. So I played a new song I've never heard. And it was true, like, I was writing down, I'm like, what did I just read? Like, I was paying attention.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how, you can have a crazy high IQ, none of us can do that. It's 8, guys. Should we, I leave this, do you want to take 10?
Yeah.
I'll leave the slide up. But we'll come back at 10 after or so. Yeah.
So it's talking about sensory conflict theory and attention, motion sickness, and motion information to revise conflicts with information from the vestibular senses that result. Isn't there like a disorder, like an actual disorder where people can't adapt to the change in motion? Because I've heard some people like when they get in the car, they still feel like your body usually adjusts to the movement of the car, but some people.
We'd have to look, we can look it up. It's in the DSM. I don't know what that would be called. It's right here. We can look it up. If you cut and paste this, right, just this whole thing right here, and then you go like this. I think there's a spot for sensory disorders. I'm pretty sure. So we'd want to go to schizophrenia, depressive anxiety. Somatic, it might be somatic. Other conditions, personality, substance. I think it's probably somatic, 309. 309. I think you just click on the link.
There's a pipe that
309.
like
Talking
there's a,
about-
electric pipe that like popped or exploded, and there's a big explosion in the back. Like a little, you know.
I haven't been there in a year, so it's okay.
Somatic. I feel like you're talking about this, maybe. But that's where the person actually feels like a pain, but it's not. It's almost like a phantom pain, but like but it's true for them. I don't know if we have.
Fibromyalgia.
That's not. That's something else.
Because I knew somebody that had that, and they said that initially people didn't even believe that was a disease.
Yeah, my mom got diagnosed with it like decades ago, and they didn't believe it was a thing. Where is it? So these are all of them. This is DSM-5. I'm thinking somatic. I don't know. I have not heard of a sense one. It could be under other, page 707. This is every single one of them now. What do you got?
Is the midterm here, or will we
No.
do it at
You do it on Connect.
like normally homework?
Yeah, it's just right here. You go to Connect and then.
Okay, I didn't know if we were gonna do the midterm in here here.
I know. I'm not gonna use class time for that.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool.
No, not at all, because
I'm on 3
It's-
hours.
it's open book, open note, and I don't think there's even a time limit on it that I set. But none of you get the same test. I would use your notes of the book. I'd be careful
Mhm.
with the internet, because the internet will get shit wrong sometimes.
Okay.
So yeah, you could look something up,
Mhm.
but your notes or the book would be a better resource.
So I thought, I just wanna know what you're doing.
No.
No, it's the opposite. It's the mouth department syndrome.
Wisconsin by proxy? Wisconsin's?
It's MDDS. Now the department syndrome.
Oh.
So you still feel like you're moving even after you stop.
Yeah, so we did find it.
The lady had to keep like driving her car because whenever she got out of the car, she got dizzy because she couldn't readjust.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. That's scary.
And I worked a year after that.
Oh my god.
So could an example for the sensory conflict theory be like if you're driving a car and you get car sick?
Yeah. Or like if you spin around on a merry-go-round and then you try to walk a straight line.
Could it also be, because I know at some parties they'll blindfold you for hitting the piñata. So like, could it also be like when you lose your sense of direction?
Yeah. I have a visual one coming up in a couple slides where it'll illustrate sensory conflict theory, just with the eyes, but there's no cue about what the images should look like. So your brain will show you both of them back and forth in a moment. I'm just not sure what to do. Are you geeking out on it, Ziki? Are you finding out about the illness?
I'm trying to see if there's something in the DSM that's kind of
Because I hadn't heard of it, but I don't have all 200 of them memorized, so I don't think so. But and like you gotta be careful because sometimes like for example like chlorophobia, fear of clowns, not a mental illness. It's only a marker. It's only a marker with other mental illnesses.
So what about when they have like
That's arachnophobia. What was that?
Triphobia.
Triphobia. I don't know what that one.
When you're like scared of like tiny clothes.
I don't know that's what it's called. No, you're saying it closer for pronunciation. Yeah, it's not just triphobia, it's like tricho or something. Yeah. That's the thing.
Trypophobia.
But like someone's afraid of clowns, for example, that runs with another like bigger mental illness. It's not an illness by itself, it's just a marker that exists with other stuff per the DSM. Being afraid of clowns
Being afraid of clowns, what?
is not a mental illness. It's chlorophobia, but that's what they call it, but it runs with other ones. It doesn't run by itself. It's not its own mental illness.
So what about insects?
I don't.
What about being scared of like
Well-
what?
Mascot.
Yeah, like this is like really embarrassing, but I'm really scared of furries. Like I'm so scared of them. Like one time I went to an arcade and I started crying.
Well, a phobia is fear of anything specific.
Furries are specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So,
have to
so
fear nobody has to
it's
fight.
a specific phobia. So it might fall under a specific phobia. You're afraid of something specific.
Like
So-
things that are not like Chuck E. Cheese. Like I cannot stand them. Animatronics were so scary.
Oh,
Can't do
make it-
Anything, if I can't see you as a person and you're dressed up as like
Yeah.
anything, like I can't stand school mascots. I just can't.
So when people say rational and irrational fears,
Irrational fear makes sense. Irrational fear doesn't make sense. Like I have a fear
but
of.
is that just like the other person that you're talking to?
Well, I have an irrational fear. I have a fear of when I can't see where the road goes, and I know this is absurd, and I'm aware intellectually it makes no sense, but I have a fear of there being holes in the road that aren't marked that I'm going to drive into because I can't see where the road goes. I don't like it when it's like a hill or there's like a blind corner because I can't. It's the unknown. I don't like it, but I have this absurd irrational fear that there's going to be a giant car-sized hole in the road I'm just going to drive into because I can't see it coming. That would never happen if taxes work and the society we live in, and it would be clearly marked. But it's an irrational fear because it makes no sense.
Yeah, but nobody can remove it that it's happening to you, so that makes it rational. Because it's happening, it's real.
It's real to me, but it's an irrational fear. I don't like driving in the rain and at dark and at night. I don't know if that's a fear. I just don't like it because of the lack of visibility.
Makes you uncomfortable.
Makes me uncomfortable, but I don't stop. Like I'm driving home tonight. I'm not gonna have anxiety, but I don't like it when I can't see. What really freaks me out are the people that walk across the street in the non-crosswalk that wear dark clothes, and I'm like, they should get higher fines. Like, seriously.
But like if you hit them, wouldn't it be their fault?
I don't want to explore that legally, okay?
Because my mom.
But
used
yeah,
to
sure,
work for
maybe.
Insurance, and she said, "Oh, like hit them, it's their fault."
Oh, gee.
But I'm not.
Like at dusk when like the sun is barely hitting and they're almost invisible to you're almost on top of them, like probably closer than I am to both of you guys. I don't like that. That's why I think. But good to know. Good to know. 50 points, I guess, right?
Because that's what they call jaywalking. 'cause
I
they're-
would not do that if I could stop it, but I appreciate the context from
Now
Kate.
you know. You see
No,
what
I
I'm
know.
saying?
I had brake failure on the freeway, and the insurance company fought me for years that it was my fault. I'm like, you guys spent $10,000 on a study, and it was a mechanical failure. I had to talk to the underwriters for years to keep my insurance rates down because my brakes failed on the highway because they put oil in my master cylinder instead of DOT3 fluid. It's a near-death experience. My entire life slowed down in front of me. Time sped up and went forward and backwards at the same time. Every thought, like they show in the movies, that happened too. You know what you wonder when you think you're going to die? If you could have been a better person.
You know what?
Because I'm an imperfect human. Like I try very hard to follow all the stuff that I believe in terms of my faith and the right choices, and certainly a moral person. But I sat there and I was like, could I have been a better person?
But after that, did you try to become a better person, or after you got a second chance, were you like, oh, I got a second chance?
No, try to be a better person, of course.
My mom, she used to work for claims and like insurance or whatever a couple years ago, and she said that if you ever hit a deer, like it's your fault. And I'm like, why is it my fault if the deer crossed the road? Like, there's no pathway for a deer to cross the road.
Well, there's a sign that says that they could call.
But like, you know how some are like in Sugar Grove, there are some roads that don't have deer signs.
Yeah.
Did you say it's still at
You can get deer whistles.
deer whistles?
You can get deer whistles. You put them on your car, and they scare the deer away. They're adhesive. They're like $80 or something. I'm not sure. But you can get deer whistles, and they make a noise. Deer, because it's plural, and singular. The deer don't like, and then they'll run the other way.
Oh, you know what we were doing at the beginning about the unknown? I think I found another unknown, and this is actually very painful for me. So I ran into an accident in 2022, like a couple years ago. My whole family was in the car. We were driving from New York and then around Indiana, we basically went off the road. I remember what happened the second, or what I think it was a second before the accident. Yet I don't remember the second of the accident.
Yeah.
And that is an unknown because there's no way I can really, or nobody can tell how long happened between conscious and unconscious. It's like, oh, I went to therapy because I know that it happened and all this stuff. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I was asking. But you would have there. Yeah. There's no way you can know. You're right.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
And then just said, you just don't keep blaming yourself. But you know, there's nothing you can change about that moment. It happened.
Yeah. I was driving my girl I was dating, and we had a rental, and there was a porcupine from like maybe Meta Victoria or Kate. It was real close. It was like a little like tumbleweed road in Florida, and and the thing exploded. And we could hear the quills go into the engine, but we bought the extra insurance, so we just didn't mention it to the rental company, and nothing ever happened. But I bought the extra insurance in case they wanted to file a claim. It did no damage to the car, but I heard the quills go into the engine. I was like, yeah, I think we'll just leave that part out. It's not. If they find them, they can file a claim. We bought the extra insurance, so. Anyone see anything going on there? Try looking at that for like 30 seconds. See if anything happens for you guys.
I think ever since when I took my first art class.
Is this the front? Is that the front?
Yeah.
Is it flipping for
I
you?
remember that front geometry. That's a simple one. It goes up and down.
See, that's also sensory conflict theory with your eyes, because your brain doesn't have, there's no shading, so your brain's like, I'm going to show you both images over and over again.
I see the first image is like what you said, like the front, that part, that's what I see, and I don't know why my mind automatically shades it for me. I don't know why.
The cube.
Is this the front,
Yeah.
or is this the front?
No, I see the first one. The first one. That's the
It doesn't flip for you? You keep staring.
So
It generally flips for everyone.
it flips. Like I know this figure because in geometry and in drafting, you
Yeah.
learn the angles and stuff. So technically, you know that the one in the bottom is the face because it's the first horizontal line, like in the bottom. But you could technically say that it's the top one because that one is the higher line.
Yeah.
So it can switch. It can just go back and forth, like you're seeing this way and that way.
Yeah.
I'll blink one time it's different, I'll blink again it's the other one.
Yeah. You guys see anything? Which one predominates? Is it the faces?
The glass. Like,
The glass, the goblet?
The goblet.
You see the faces?
I think you have to hyper focus to like find the goblet
Or do they switch back? Or is one more dominant if you look at it and then glance away? Or if you stare at it, there's one kind of no.
No.
I look
If
at
I do
it, I
this,
see
if I do it quick, the goblet is the first thing I see.
Okay.
If you stare at the top, like the white part, it's clearly you can see the thing, white. But like if you stare more below, like by the lower.
Then you see the faces. That's fair.
You can see the face.
If I just stare in the middle, I see the faces, but if I stare up, I just see the goblet.
So we continue to organize your proximity, tendency to perceive objects that are close to each other as part of the same grouping. Similarity, tendency to perceive things that look similar to each other as being part of the same group. And then closure, we like to complete figures that are incomplete. Like What do you see? Circle, but it's not a circle. Square, but it's not a square. Principle of closure. The brain does that for you automatically.
Oh, like with the little dots that we did on the first day of class. Just little things like that.
Little dots.
Oh yeah, like the gestalt perception. Like
Yeah.
learning how- yeah.
Gestalt perception. There you go. You guys want to do the selective attention test? If you've seen it, you can't say anything. If you haven't seen it, just see if you can do it. All right. You guys ready? Here we go.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count? The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
See? See? Because you were focused on the passes.
Yeah.
You never saw the gorilla.
The first time I saw that, yeah, you have
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't see the video.
If you've seen it before, you probably saw the
This
gorilla.
video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted. It is available for use in talks, training, and teaching.
Yeah, the first time I didn't see the gorilla. And I thought it was like, oh, it's a trick.
Yeah.
If you play it again, then I'll probably notice it.
Yeah.
You said something, right? There was a gorilla.
Yeah.
Where's the gorilla?
Yeah.
So what is it called when like? Because there are sometimes when I'm reading and I'll like